What is going on, gamers? We're doing our most ambitious project in Age of Civ. Every single province is independent. This is going to be an epic gamer moment. I don't know who's going to win. A lot of the countries are just filler names, just random. Apparently, we have Alaska in Brazil. I did try to put majority of the countries in their actual spot, or countries that are similar in name. So, Grand Columbia, Columbia, District of Columbia, even though obviously it's not right there. I just have it has Columbia in the name. I'm just trying to fill the map up as accurate as possible. There's a lot of filler in Russia, and I kind of got lazy in Africa, so a lot of this down here is filler as well. And then South America is also a lot of filler. So everything else, though, is pretty full. Europe is looking pretty good in the middle. Apparently I missed a spot. One of them will just have a small advantage, apparently. But overall, Europe looking pretty good. We got a lot of different countries. The North American continent looking really good. The Caribbean, Canada, all that's looking pretty good. And overall, I think this is going to be a fun, video. I'm just going to kind of spectate it. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of watch and see what all really occurs. The first couple of turns are going to be pretty peaceful, obviously. No wars are really going to break out. What I think is going to happen once the wars do break out is some crazy changes. So it's turn 4. Whatever's about to happen is going to be a massive war, I'm assuming. Aragon was the country that did manage to colonize that little bit in France, if anybody even cares. The map is going to change a lot. I'm probably going to miss a lot of things. So if you want to roast me in the comments, go ahead. But, I mean, I'm looking at a screen with like a million different colors on it. So there's only so much I'm going to be able to pick up. But I am picking up some small changes. In North America, we have Minnesota yeeting out Chicago. The Dominion of Canada has invaded New England and taken it over. Quebec has formed a fairly powerful country here. They might do pretty good. No wars in Greenland quite yet. The British Columbia has taken out Alberta and some other small changes. Nothing really in the Caribbean quite yet. In South America, I'm not really seeing anything too major other than African Union taking some land. In Africa, it looks like a couple countries have gained a little bit. Not Russia, in Italy also, but in Europe, I think Aragon's going to do pretty good. They have a lot of population with the two provinces, but Austria gaining some land in Milan. Poland is reformed, which is kind of funny. I'm gonna root for Poland. Poland is who I'm rooting for. A couple changes in Scandinavia, but nothing too crazy. And in Russia, things are probably going to get pretty ugly. We're probably going to have a lot of border gore by the end of this video. So, yay. Stay tuned. I'm going to fast forward it a little bit, just kind of to skip a lot of it, the boring fighting. I want to kind of see the map kind of pick up some larger powers. No, we lost Poland. F in the chat. F for Poland. We lost Poland already. I think a lot of countries are going to die, even if they do really good. Because somebody could always just come along and yeet them. Currently, who's the strongest country? I think China is the largest country. They have the largest population, followed up by Venezuela, India, Chile, Israel. The largest economy is also currently China. So China, India, Israel, Venezuela down here. Those are some of the big ones to watch at the moment. And Persia. Persia's looking pretty good as well. So we're going to see a lot of big countries slowly form up here. And yeah. It looks like Aragon has kind of yeeted out Spain. Aragon looking very powerful. I'm probably going to root for Aragon. I think they're in a really good position. Apparently Swedish Albania has kind of formed up, which is kind of weird to see. Persia looking, like Persia, nothing crazy. India kind of moving into Pakistan, Afghanistan, which is kind of strange. China struggling. It looks like they're having some problems with their northern rival, but overall China could still look pretty good moving forward. Minnesota, Quebec, the Dominion of Canada, a lot of these countries are starting to form up. I know Baja was doing really good, but it looks like California is like, hell no, we're going to form the ultimate California. And apparently Alaska doesn't exist because it's just North Alaska. So that's nice to know as well. Alright, some major map changes have occurred. In Australia, the emu are kind of in a divided state between Austria-Hungary, which is kind of a random one to be here. But it is kind of a divided state. They are currently at war, so the emu, I'm going to root for them. I hope they yeet this country out. I don't think Austria-Hungary even has a capital here. I don't know where they're located on the map. Maybe they do have a capital here. I don't really know. As for Africa, a lot of big changes have occurred. The Ugandan Knuckle Empire is now stretching from sea to sea. I think Uganda is going to do pretty good. South Sudan also looking pretty good. And Morocco kind of, doing some weird stuff, but they're also technically sea to sea. So Morocco could be looking like our leader in northern Africa. But it's kind of too early to tell. Aragon's still doing good. They might go after some New World colonies. Britain, very divided still for some reason. I thought this would unify by now, but not quite yet. Same with Greenland, nothing really going on. Meanwhile, in America, we have the Northwest Territory. Looking alright, but the population is fairly low. So they could easily get taken out, probably. Texas looking very powerful as they kind of do whatever this power move is across the the northern section of Canada and the United States in the Rust Belt. And then my home state, Kansas, yeeting a lot of these western states kind of in the north. So I think Kansas and Texas are going to have a little Cold War maybe. But then again, Texas is the strongest country in the region. Actually, California might be the largest threat to Texas. So we're probably going to see a Cold War between Texas and Cali. Whoever wins that is probably going to be the leader in North America. And then South America, it's also kind of a little Cold War between these two. So that'll be interesting to watch. Alright, we sped it up a lot of turns. A lot has kind of happened in the little turn break. Australia has united under the Australia-Hungary flag, which is kind of interesting. They're also trying to go after New Zealand as well as Papua New Guinea. So this will be some pretty major conflicts for them if they manage to win. They could form a very powerful Oceania empire. And I think the islands might have an advantage in this game if they can, get pretty powerful. Because islands are hard to invade for the AI. And Australia could, benefit from that a lot, considering they're already very united. As for the Texas-Cali conflict, Texas was losing a lot, but for the most part they've remained friendly for now. I don't know how long that's going to last, but, the rivals are, cooperating, so it's kind of different to see. Kansas got yeeted by Texas. Now we're in Wyoming and Nevada, so we're kind of all over the place. North Dakota, which should honestly just be called Dakota at this point, is just kind of going into Canada, which is kind of weird. Alaska, the Northwest Territory, all that's kind of falling apart into one big Nunavut empire. As for the hellscape of Asia, India has kind of fallen apart. China still stands pretty powerful, but we've seen big empires collapse before. As for Israel, they're not looking the greatest, but it's yet to be seen. Morocco collapsed, which I really wasn't seeing that coming. But Tunis is, really risen strong in their place. Sudan, Uganda, still going fairly strong. Uganda might win Africa if they can keep it together. Technically, Morocco not out of it, but I just don't see them coming back necessarily. Aragon, the country I'm rooting for as of right now, is currently doing very good in Europe. They might win if they can keep Albania in check. But we're going to kind of watch and see what happens. A lot of things changed once again. These large empires, they are very prone to collapse, and we've seen it in Africa. Uganda is struggling now. They were on top. They lost a lot of land from Sudan. And, Sudan's looking good. But then again, we've seen big empires collapse. So it's yet to be seen what happens. Tunis, they're doing all right, but they're really not being aggressive enough. They really need to pick up the pace. I'd yeet Israel, maybe. But Israel would probably yeet you at this point. So Israel looking good. They've kind of recovered a little bit. But then again, they are stuck in between, like, some of the strongest countries. So they're probably fucked, to be honest. Unless they yeet Byzantium, Greece, and maybe kind of form a big Ottoman horde-looking country. As for my Aragon, I'm rooting for. They're doing good still. They're playing smart. They're being very friendly with a lot of these countries. We're kind of seeing a little EU forming or whatever you want to call it, but it's kind of yet to be seen what a war breaks out. I think a Ukraine Aragon war is a very likely to be probably what's about to break out next. And that's going to be a major one to see what happens with that. I think whoever wins this is going to rule Europe. But then again, Russia to the north, also still very powerful. Anything can really change. I mean, even Slovakia has quite a bit of power. So the tides could change very easily. India really has just died in general. I think there's nothing left of them, if I'm not mistaken. China, or at least communist China, has kind of turned into the new India for the most part. Persia and mainland China are now kind of major rivals in the region, and Asia is kind of still a hellscape. Ming, very powerful, very friendly with China as well, so we might see some major conflicts break out pretty soon in Asia and Europe, in my opinion. As for South America, it kind of goes back and forth. Superior Argentina is still doing fairly good, but then again, you also have this Olodia, which is very powerful in the north. So it's kind of a divided continent. I don't think a lot of stuff is really going to change at the moment. Again, Cali, Texas has kind of died off. There's nothing left of Texas, I don't think, except for Colorado and Utah. So Texas, I told you guys, these countries, they can die really easily, and Texas was huge, but now they're just gone. Like, they're not going to recover from this. Quebec yeeted them completely, and now it's up to Cali to kind of, fill the shoes of this alliance Texas had with Cali. Can Cali, rebuild the USA and push out the Canadians? It's kind of yet to be seen. But then again, you even got North Dakota and Nunavut who could still technically pull off a win if they played smart. Alright, some major events have taken place. Obviously, where to start? Asia and North America. Jesus Christ. I said a big war was coming to Asia or Europe. It turns out it was Asia. Aragon needs to wake up, or they're going to get fucked completely by the Ukrainian Empire. Ming is blowing up as well. And then China's still looking really good, honestly. China could still win Asia. They have more population than Ming. Ming is very focused in the unpopulated region, so we do have to take that into consideration. But damn, Ukraine, bruh, they just had like the most epic gamer expansion of all time. They yeeted like 5 countries out here. And even Israel got yeeted completely by them. So yeah, Ukraine is an empire at this point. They might win the whole game. Very, very powerful. Asti, a country came out of nowhere, is starting to look very good in the Middle East. I don't think they're going to last very long necessarily, but I mean, they got more population than Ukraine somehow. So, I mean, obviously shit can happen. Then again, they are based in South Africa, so we're going to see some big changes occur. I think in Africa is where we're going to kind of see a major attack. I think South Sudan is going to die pretty soon. Tunis and Asti are going to rule this continent. Maybe Israel, if Israel can recover, but I don't see it really happening. It's kind of yet to be seen what occurs. As for South America, literally like barely anything has changed. I'm not even going to bring it up. North America, Quebec, Canada, still rivals, but Canada yeeted the North completely. Canada looking like they're on track to rule the continent. But then again, I mean, Canada. Alright, did I say Canada was on track? I meant California. Cali is going to probably win in North America. The only way Quebec could win is if they kind of really expand quickly and they yeet North Dakota and Washington, D.C., and then they kind of form a really powerful USA country to rival Cali, but I don't see it happening. Overall, though, the upcoming turns are going to be very interesting. We even have a little bit of a rising Slovakia to look out for, so a lot of changes are probably going to come to this map pretty soon, as well as even a growing Thailand to not forget to at least. Alright, a fuck ton of changes have occurred on this map. Quebec is dead. Quebec is officially gone. Cali is going to win North America at this point unless they really fuck up. Maybe they get into a two-front war or something crazy. As of right now, Cali is going to win North America. Alodia is probably going to win South America. They yeeted Argentina, and it's going to kind of be between these two. It looks like Alodia, which I'm just going to call Great Brazil. I don't really want to use all these random country names. I just want to kind of stick to the actual countries in the continent. Great Brazil probably going to yeet Cali at some point, and I think they're going to win the game. They have a ton of population, a ton of economic power over a lot of these countries. So I think at this point they have won the game. Great Brazil has. They've kind of been an underdog. We haven't really talked about them a lot, but they were kind of a sleeping giant, and they really did blow up really quickly. Aragon, my great friend kingdom, is kind of collapsing to Slovakia, who was once their friend, but is now working with Russia. And Russia yeeted out Ukraine. So a lot of shit went down in Europe, obviously. I think Russia and Slovakia are probably going to win at this point, unless my Aragon can kind of rebuild, which they might. It's yet to be seen. China, probably going to win in Asia. Ming kind of got a little bit weaker. Thailand, though, Sri Lanka, both of those still looking very good. And then we also can't forget the African country, which, let's just talk about Africa for a second. I did not expect all these countries to actually survive the attacks from Tunis and Asti. They are still kicking, and, it's interesting to see what will actually happen here. Obviously, the borders did change a little bit, but for the most part, like, these countries are still kicking. Alright, we have hit turn 1,000. It looks like Brazil is the winner. Russia, very weakened. Russia got yeeted hard. Actually, Brazil might not be the winner at the moment. Actually, yes, they are. Currently, Brazil is winning. By a pretty large amount, to be honest. Russia, they just can't hack it. They're at war with, like, half the globe. I mean, China jumps into that shit, and Russia, you're fucked, bro. China would fuck you up at the moment. There is some weird countries that have survived. South Sudan, how are you not dead, bruh? Aragon still kicking up, but they're not going to last probably much longer. Well, actually, if they broke into the war now, it might be their best chance to get land, ironically. But, yeah, currently lots of changes on the map. Cali is still too scared to go after Brazil, but I would go after Brazil. That's like your best chance. Ireland, for whatever reason, decided, let's get involved in Greenland. Same with Russia. So I think currently Russia is losing. They're probably going to die pretty soon. That's what it looks like it's about to go down in Europe. And it looks like Asti, China, Brazil, those are kind of the winners. I'm going to put my money that Brazil is the leader. Brazil has been just going crazy in Europe. Honestly, they can probably yeet Russia. I've been watching it go down for a little bit. And, Asti, or not Asti, Great Brazil was putting in some troops here. They were occupying like half of Europe, despite being all the way in Brazil. And I think Brazil is a powerful country. They have the largest economy by a massive margin. They have one of the highest tech levels as well, I believe. They do have the highest tech level. Yeah, nobody can really fuck with Brazil. So I'm gonna give this game to Brazil. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed. And if you want more smaller time lapse type things like this, tell me in the comments below. And I'll see y'all for the next one. Like I said, bye bye.